towards this. And I also have my parents, Yashpal Bhasin and Vijayalakshmi Bhasin, on the call, and my father's going through some suffering and pain. Suffering is actually maybe not the right word. We shouldn't use that. Yeah, but he's experiencing pain. It's up to him to suffer or not. That's what we believe. Yeah, so hopefully it has to, not hopefully. I see that this session is going to really add value to our lives. Thank you so much, Aarti.
Thank you, Vani. Thank you so much for joining, and Uncle Auntie for joining. Healings to you. And really wish that this session does good to whosoever's joined it. So before we start this session, I would invite Sid, if the voice is back, to hear him again. Sid, are you there?
Actually, I am, but can you hear me?
Yes, now we can. Now we can.
Gee, so my next question was basically for you, Aarti, to ask you that we understand the basic thing that what ancestral healing would be about, but I don't think most of us would know what the outcomes are or what we can expect and what it involves. So perhaps you could share a bit of that, and then please take over because my connection might just go bad again.
All right. Thank you, Sid. So I'll start with the session without wasting too much of time. So ancestral healing, of course, I'll start with a story, I think, which we all know, would have heard about this woman who had lost her son. And she had gone to, she visited the Buddha and while she was in deep grief and asked why this had happened to her. And in response, the Buddha had asked her to go and get a grain of rice from each house in the village in which no loss had occurred or tears had been shed. So she went from house to house and after a week returned with an empty bowl. And in realizing that she was not alone, she was transformed. So her suffering, which once caused her to feel isolated and hopeless, now became the gateway of compassion and connection. Why I'm saying and why I'm narrating this story or reminding everybody about this story today is that when we look honestly, we can all find sufferings in our personal and family histories, right? Perhaps within your family, you've seen untimely deaths, ravages of wars, pandemics that we've just gone through and still suffering. And maybe you find the pains of abuse, neglect, addictions. So just take some time and look back. What is it that has been affecting you? The stories that you know from your family. You know, each person has a story under the surface, and you're not alone. So as Vani said very rightly, it's a cause and effect, and the genetics of cause and effect have a chain which goes through the genetic coding of the family lineage. Very often we don't realize that, but it comes up in the recurring patterns that we experience very often in our life, and we don't, despite of many healings, understand from where they're coming. And what we forget to tap in is the genetic coding of our family history. So as you know, this is a very beautiful thing that, there's a writer called Joan Halifax, and she calls this a collective wound in her book, The Fruitful Darkness. And she writes that we cannot eliminate the so-called negative forces of affective emotions. The only way to work with them is to encounter them directly, enter their world and transform them. And they become the manifestations of wisdom. And our weaknesses then become our strengths, the sources of compassion for others, and the basis of our awakened nature. And this is how we heal. Now, coming back to what Sid was asking, that what is this session going to help us, and what is it going to be, what is the takeaway from this session? So today I'm going to be, taking us all through an introduction. I think somebody is not on mute. We'll request everybody to please check your mute buttons and go on mute. Thank you. So today this session is all about, one, I'll introduce everybody briefly to what is the science behind this spiritual aspect of ancestral healing, because it has been scientifically proved today. So I'm going to take us all through that briefly, and then I'm going to make us all experience the energy of our ancestors And also, as far as possible, try and tap into your energy, which you feel at any level is coming from the past. So we're going to go through this meditative process, and when we go through it, only will you be able to experience it. So allow yourself that experience when we do the meditation. So I'll first start off by a little bit on the science of what is ancestral healing. So ancestral healing basically involves healing your ancestors' unresolved emotional issues, problems, or traumas. So in doing so, it releases us from any energetic patterns that link us to them, patterns that can have an inhibiting or disruptive influence in our own life today. So this healing process is actually very important because we are impacted by the emotional and energetic patterns from prior generations in our family. And some of these can create obstacles in our lives, blocking our pathways of, joy, abundance, authentic power, and unlimited possibilities. As I said, the recurring patterns, which we often do not get an answer to. And this is because since energy is never lost, but simply changes form over time, emotional issues or problems that were not dealt with by our ancestors are not fully resolved, can hover over our lives, the energy field today, creating an imbalance or a roadblock, which actually gives us an opportunity to heal that ancestral pattern and free our future generations as well as ourselves. So that is why this healing becomes very important. Now, just the science behind it is that we all have 3.2 billion base pair of DNA molecules in our bodies, right? And most of these are identical with other living species on the planet. Now, what makes the humans unique in our self-awareness is our ability to change our environmental and our bodies to respond to the events, right? And we have the power to alter our DNA through our choices of environment, stress, nutrition, and more. Now, science has made a lot of research on this. It has made a lot of effort in discovering how these genes operate. And in recent years of science of epigenetics, which we all might be aware of, which means that, it is an additional layer to the genes. It doesn't change the DNA structure, but it is talking about the behaviors, the attitudes, which we pass on and we get from our ancestors and we pass on to our descendants. So it has emerged that this epigenetics has emerged and is changing our very concepts of how DNA influences our life. So epigenetics are the attachments that, we all collect during the life, which are the physical, emotional, environmental, mental. These are the scientists have found that these epigenetics are important because they are the triggers that turn on certain diseases, certain behaviors and other health factors in our DNA, such as mental health issues, diseases like diabetes, cancer, heart problem, autoimmune system diseases. And if you really think of the DNA, for example, just think of it as an ice cream cone, like a portion of the DNA helix, and then you will see that the epigenetics is like the ice cream on that cone. And you fill it up with your life experiences, like your emotions will fill up your DNA. So DNA becomes the cone, the helix is that, and it's all that is over it. I call that as a cloud, it kind of covers it, your genes. And it is like, we can talk, it is a food that we eat, the air that we breathe, the choices of thoughts that we have, the abuse that we encounter, emotional attachments, we make, our lifestyle choices, smoking, drinking, exercise, learning, different bacteria, viruses, airborne diseases we are all exposed to. So they all somewhere become a part of that epigenetic structure that we create, right? So the good choices we make will have a positive influence over our DNA and allow our strong ancestral genes to prevail. The unhealthy choices that we make will trigger the weak genes, and like cancer, heart diseases, and the various diseases I mentioned, they generally come out of that. So but the DNA is not our destiny. So we may look to our distant ancestors for fatal genetic flaws that exist in our DNA codes that have been carried for generations. However, the triggers for turning these codes on and off are generally happening from our recent ancestors. So there's this concept of 7 generations, right? The 7 generations being very significant in our lives because we can often remember our great grandparents, our grandparents. At times, about even the ones before that because of various stories that, we would have passed on into the family. So it now becomes very integral that the 7 generation lineage is significant from an epigenetic standpoint because our grandparents' life choices have influenced our parents and genetic patterns. Our grandparents' choices affected our genetic patterns, and our parents' choices affected our children's genetic patterns. So we affect our grandchildren's genetic patterns. So that's how the whole structure goes. So how we become responsible for what would be happening in the future generations, right? So that is why this genetic coding needs to be corrected. So, so does this actually mean that the genes control our lives and epigenetics give us even less control? It is not so. Epigenetics gives us the answer to how we can heal not only ourselves, but our descendants in many instances. Like genomics is a study of gene pattern, as we know, and that is fascinating the scientific community of late since last 2 decades, and huge work has been done in tracking the gene patterns there. So in fact, it is said that every 30 minutes, like, if we are exercising for 30 minutes for, 30 days together, we actually change the gene pattern of our heart disease. So a lot of work is being done on that as well, that your genes are not your fate. So let's just take that off, that, genes are our fate and we can't do anything about it. Of course, most of us who are into meditation and various other modalities and even activities that we do have understood that we can change the gene structure. We can, kind of heal ourselves by changing to a healthy lifestyle. You can free yourself as well as your grandchildren. We have that opportunity to do it for our future generation, our grandchildren, right? From the deadly genetic diseases. And meditation has also been shown to alter the genes related to this repair of the DNA and alterations. So clearing, that is where I come to now, that clearing of the ancestral patterns in your DNA and your epigenetics is a matter of choice that you can make today and here on. So it can be a challenge to face unhealthy family patterns that are comfortable and familiar to us, but being a couch potato and eating a pizza or while watching TV is easy and thoughtless. Unhealthy emotional behavioral patterns passed down to your children and will last for generations. So significant mental health issues facing this generation today, like, soldiers returning from wars, people fighting for, their rights, PTSD, the displacement of thousands of, from their homelands due to the civil wars happening today, abused women and children. So a lot of things that are happening today in the world we're quite aware of. The homeless with mental health issues, they must be resolved. Unless and until we don't do that, we pass it on to our future generations. So the choice is always ours. So how do you go about making the necessary choices? Of course, you can always go down to a health specialist and make changes in your lifestyle, get back to exercises. But what is it that can heal us? Not only these patterns, but also help us realign with our core, our soul's power is meditation. So one thing I'll always suggest and always do that is that please begin meditating to heal your mind, body, and spirit. And from a very spiritual point of view, in order to heal your family tree, you will need to confront this energetic pattern. This does not necessarily mean confronting your family, living family members if you have a problem with them, but it's the energy you must confront. This sometimes means that you may discover very unpleasant things about your family, but don't be afraid. Do this as you have already been carrying this energy around with you all your life. So if you don't look at these patterns, they will still influence your life. So go deeper, dig deeper. And if you feel uncertain, then always, use help of healers to do it. You have so many modalities like hypnotherapy, EFT, homeopathy, EMDR, spiritual healings, Reiki, rebirthing, shamanism. I mean, there are just so many of them today. We are all fortunate. And another thing, of course, as I'll repeat myself, is meditation, where you go back and talk with your ancestors. This is what we're going to do today in this session, and find out as to what they did and how they lived. Then approach the problem with them. If they have made mistakes which are affecting you now, forgive them. Tell them they are forgiven. If you are having problems with forgiving your ancestors, then tell them that you are willing to forgive them. Not only will you be releasing them from their torment, you will be helping yourself. So all that is required is your heartfelt intention in the meditation today to forgive. And this will begin the healing process for your entire family. So remember, by making contact with your ancestors, forgiving them where needed and making peace will not only free you, yourself, even your descendants. And the sooner you start, the better you will feel, and a sense of emotional freedom will envelop you and your family. So it's an interesting journey. And I'll just kind of wind up this by saying that when we heal our ancestors, when we heal our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual traumas, illnesses, and shortcomings, we will affect all our family members, because family patterns don't exist in a vacuum. They affect us all. Family members love and care about us, even if we happen to live far away and don't see or interact with them often. So we are related particles and matters in this world of quantum physics. So let's just start with the session. And before that, if anybody has any questions, they can ask me before we get into the meditation.
There's a question on the chat, Aarti. Do ancestors only mean connected to us through bloodline or close relatives by wedding?
Ancestors, see, they also do get attached to us in a certain way. Yes, because when we see the ancestral lineage, we are seeing both the lines, the father and the mothers. For your child, it becomes your, you and your husband. But to you, it will not directly affect you. But yes, in a passive way, it does affect you because you're living with the person in a certain way, but genetically it wouldn't be affecting you so much. But you can create your behavior, your environment, while you're coexisting and cohabiting with each other. So that passes on to your further generations. It also includes our aunts, our uncles, our cousins from both the sides of the family. Does that address the question, Vani?
Yeah, it was by Jaya Sarup. I'm just trying to help. In fact, Sid, if your connection is low, you can make me a co-host. I can just take care of things like, mute, unmute also, and help you guys if that's...
Sorry, I didn't see the question, but there was a question by Sushma. Does evil eye?
Somebody, can you please mute?
I've muted. Okay, so I have that control, Vanita. I think he's given it to me.
I know, but you can make it multiple. You'll be busy in the meditation.
So yes, I will. But then I want you to meditate equally. So wait, let me just see.
Once meditation starts, I don't think it'll happen, but I think abhi baatein kar rahi hain, to beech mein na ho.
Aarti, we need the music link also.
Yeah, the music link is there. Just a second, everybody. I'm just trying to figure out how do I give it. It's just kind of slipped off my mind. How do I make you a I can't make you a host because I don't have that right.
Co-host.
I'm a co-host.
Sid will have that right, actually. Sid,
that's what I'm saying. I'm a co-host. I'm not a host.
Are you there? Can you hear us? Because his connection is weak. That's why I'm offering, because...
Okay, so in the meantime, I'm reposting the link for those who joined later.
Mm-hmm.
Aarti, can you play the music?
No, I'm not going to be playing the music here. Namita, can you just tell them how we do it? In the meantime, I'll
Yeah.
just manage all
So,
this.
Aarti will be sharing the music link on the chat. It will be a YouTube link, and you will have to play it at your end. Keep the volume in the video low so that you can hear music as well Aarti's voice both together. The music will be playing. I hope most of you have joined through the laptop, so because it gets easy to play both together. If you have joined from a phone, then you need another device to play the music, but keep it on a low volume and keep yourself muted.
Oh, Aarti, my parents won't be able to do this. They're both on a phone.
That's
Yes, even
okay.
I'm on a
So,
phone.
Yeah,
so
lots
you
of them.
can,
Can't we play it? I can offer to
so
play it
you
on
can
low
play it
volume.
on, you
No,
can
no,
play,
we don't want to play it here because it becomes very disruptive. So we will play it on the, this is how
each
we
one
generally,
will
but that's
be,
okay.
yeah, each one will be listening to the music in their own background. So it's not playing at different levels for everybody. So for your parents, you can play it on another device so that they can hear it at their end.
They
But
don't have another device.
That's
Anyway, all
okay.
that
That's
I'll
okay,
no
call them.
worries,
Vani.
no
That's all
worries.
right. No stress. If nobody has can play a music, it is all right. Don't take that stress. This is not for the stress aspect. So let's
So
just enjoy
music
the
has to be
meditation.
played separately, like
So see, as Namita
it's allowed.
explained, you have got
Mhm.
the music link that is there. Everybody's got a music link on the chat. For
Yes.
those who've been meditating with me, I know how they did. They all know how to do it. For those who don't,
Mm.
please, there is a link which I and Namita have put on the chat. It is there. You can take the link. It will
Not there
play
yet, Aarti.
directly on the YouTube.
It's not
Okay.
there yet.
But
Namita, can
yeah,
you
it's
post
not
it,
there.
please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is there. I just placed
It's,
it.
it's there, it's there.
No,
She
I
just
can't
put
see it.
it.
So
No,
many
we
of us.
cannot
Uh,
see.
No,
Even
we
I
I
think
cannot
cannot
it.
see.
see. We
Okay,
cannot see
guys.
the link.
Okay. It have just placed.
Okay.
Please stop writing. Stop putting a chat there. It is there. The link is there. Don't worry.
Aarti, it's only to me on the direct message. It's not for
Oh,
everyone.
sorry about that. My
Yeah.
fault. Why did it go there? Sorry, my fault. Okay, now you all can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, next step, click on the link. It takes you to YouTube. All right. Now, in YouTube, there is a volume tab. Minimize it. If you're wearing a earphone or a headphone, that is generally how we all do meditations. The instructions were given. So please wear if you're not, it will be helpful. All right, can we start the meditation? Because all of you are off screen. I wouldn't know whether you're ready, but I'll give you all another 30 seconds to be prepared. It will be beautiful actually if you all can be, if you all can open our screens and
Online.
sit, because it does work in the energy space. Awesome. Thank you, Jaya, for whatever you're raising your thumbs up for. Thank you so much. Yes, answer your query. Is that Sushma? Your
Yeah.
query is, does that, Sushma is like,
Her query
okay,
is,
does an evil eye is
Evil
a
eye.
part of the trauma by the ancestors or relatives? We'll discuss that. If I know the Sushma who it is, we'll take it up later.
So Aarti, even if there's no music, it's fine, you're saying, right?
It is fine, though it makes a lot of difference if we have the music.
Okay, fine. No worries.
If you have the music at your end, Vani, it'll be
No,
nice.
I've done it, but
suggest.
I'm just wondering if my mom can. I'll just call her and ask if she can. Yeah.
Chalo. So we'll start. Thank you, everyone. Please mute yourselves. Thank you, Sid. We still can't hear you. But okay.
Yes, please mute everyone.
Okay, thank you. So I'll also play my music now. And so first want you all to be seated comfortably. If you're lying down, lie down. synchronize with the music. With your spine straight, your neck slightly raised up, your shoulders aligned and relaxed. The only voice that you shall listen to is mine, and it shall only take you deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper into a state of complete relaxation. Through our ancestors, we feel we belong to the world of creation in a quantum of life. And this meditation today, you will experience this bio-connection to your mother and father, ancestral lines retrieving their power, their connections, their talents, and healing any unresolved stories of wounding and limitation. So allow yourself to drop your own self. Allow yourself to drop your ego. Allow yourself to drop your conditionings, layer by layer. Allow yourself to reconnect only with your prana through your breath. Allow yourself to experience this journey of reconnection with those energies that have been there, experienced, created, dreamt, all that you are today. Follow your breath as you breathe in through your nostrils, going deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper into a state of complete relaxation. With each breath that you inhale in light and love. You hold on to that light and love. In your root chakra, the Moola Bandh, and then slowly exhale, removing all the thoughts, all concerns, all of that you know of yourself. Releasing yourself in the space of love and light. Trust and trust the process. Going deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper into a state of complete relaxation. Breathe in. Drop the tension into your belly. Breathe in and expand your belly. Breathe out and pull your belly inwards. breathe in and send the energy deep down into your root. You're grounding. Hold the breath as you allow to descend into your root and into the core of the earth. Connect to the core and then slowly draw the energy up along your spine and out of your crown. Breathe from the earth beneath and from the landscape all around you, from your environment. Breathe the earth energy deep down within your body. You are the woods and the land and the mountains, the meadows and the seas. Feel your sense of belonging to the earth, your body, and atoms at one with her. Breathe the fire energy from the core of the earth up and open your first chakra. Open the lotus of your root chakra and your whole body. As you do that, you realize you're at one with creation. You have the right to be here. You belong here. The earth is your home and you're not alone. You are connected to all your ancestors who came before you. Your mother and father, and the line of grandmothers and fathers. Allow their presence, images from your life story and beyond. Trust all of that, whether known or unknown in your consciousness, are deep down rooted in your soul memory, in your prana. They all live in your body, in your cells, and in your DNA. Your body was created by the energies of your mother and father, like theirs was coming out of a long line of people in the past. Beautiful, wonderful. Imagine walking towards the future sustained by your ancestors behind you. And now invite a positive ancestor, trust as I say, a positive ancestor now. You will know from the energy of that ancestor, someone who wants to help you, an ancestor with an open heart and a high vibrations of light. Allow the experience as it comes to you in impressions, images, sounds, thoughts, it doesn't matter. Simply allow. You may know them or not. They belong to either your mother line or your father's line. And visualize two lines on either side, parallel to each other. One is your mother's line and one is your father's line. If you have still not been able to connect to that positive ancestor, visualize these two lines, one belonging to your father's family lineage and one to your mother's. And now allow an ancestor to come through. You know, as you open your heart, you experience this high vibration of light, trust. Maybe where you are experiencing this ancestral connect, it is happening in a place of nature or a place back in time, or maybe in your childhood. In whichever way it is coming to you, allow it to happen. Going deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper in this connection. Feel the pure essence of love. And as you feel it, you breathe heart to heart. Allow this connection from heart to heart. Just flow and feel the power. Allow the communication. Listen and perceive what your ancestor wants to show you. Hear his or her message, as there are gifts for you from this side of your ancestral line. What is the energy you need to connect to? What is the power or quality you need to embrace at this moment in your life? In this light that the two of you are connected with heart to heart, allow the ancestor to show you. Own this power or quality that comes to you and trust it belongs to you as you belong to the bloodline. And make a choice if you want to own this quality, this powerful quality that is being shown to you, that you need at this time in your life. Trust, trust, trust the process. And now that you know the quality that needs to come to you, and you want to, or you desire to, or you choose to own it, we first before we embrace this quality, your ancestors would want to do some healing with you to clear something in your ancestral line. Allow for them to help you track a pattern transmitted through the ancestral line in the way to own this quality and message of your ancestor. And the way to do it first is to connect to your own life story, maybe your childhood, or maybe later. So as you breathe in and breathe out, trust you're allowing the process of regressing to your childhood or later to connect and correct what is stopping this quality from coming up before you embrace it. The only voice you hear is my voice, and let it make you go deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper to those images or memories or people who will now slowly start coming to surface. Going deep down in your childhood memory, allowing that situation or person, whatever is coming to you, to point to a place where healing is needed. Trust right now you're tracking a feeling or a pattern or a core belief from your mother or your father's line that needs to be healed and transmuted. As you are aware now of what correction has connected with you, you will now track this pattern, this feeling, or this belief, or this pattern through the ancestral pattern coming from your mother or father's line. Once again, we go back in time. Choose again from the lines of your mother and father and track backwards in time. Allow the images to come to you. Whatever is coming to you may or may not have ever been known by you, told to you, but just allow that to come to you. Allow the people, the stories, or scenes to emerge which clarify the negative pattern. It may be something from your immediate ancestors or in remote times. Observe the scenes, the characters. Go into the details of what is happening. Who is there? What are the feelings? What is the belief system underlying it all? Allow the ancestor to help you understand the pattern more. The negative energy coming from the ancestral line. Stay connected in words. and experience what is happening within you, in your body, in your vibrations. Focus on your feelings as you experience the impressions, images, sounds, feelings coming up. Notice what arises within you, within your body. Notice whatever you're feeling, discomfort, shyness, anger, hurt, fear. And notice how this ancestral connection affects you. Observe the story clearly, the dynamic, the pattern. Notice the core emotion or the core thought within you. Breathe and release it. Breathe and release it into the earth, out of your body. And if you're still feeling it, where is the wounding? How does it live within you, within your body? Trust in this state of altered consciousness, of the highest stage of consciousness. You're truly and deeply connected in knowingness to the astral and the physical. Notice the core emotion and the core thought within you. Own your feelings so that they can flow out of you. Allow this wound to flow out of you, this pain, this feeling. If you feel like crying, do that. If you feel like doing any action in your physical body, do that. Push it out of your system. Now looking at your ancestor, if there's any residue, ask for help to do the healing. Allow the pattern of negative energy out of your body. Breathe it out. Whatever the pattern, you're releasing it. Trust. Trust that the feeling or the pattern stops with you. Trust that you're extracting this energy pattern out of your body and out of the whole ancestral line. There's no more fear, no more hurt, no more anger, no more limiting energy blocks. Visualize this happening, energy flowing out of your body, out of the ancestral line that is in front of you, whichever part of the lineage it is coming from. Experience this negative energy flowing into the golden light above for healing. Trust and trust the process. Release it. Beautiful. Feel the release in your body. And as you do that, as you feel the release, you feel the effortlessness in your breath, you feel the lightness in your body, you feel the regeneration of your cells, you feel the lightness in your mind. For the mind is what exists beyond the body. The body is within the mind. So as you release the energy from your mind, trust your body heals, your pattern heals. And now forgive, knowing the people in your family all did the best they could. Trust, looking at that lineage, forgive, for they meant no harm. And as you look at them, you might feel an overwhelming feeling of love, closeness, belongingness. As you forgive, you say, I let go, I forgive, I empty, I let go deeply and rest. Rest in the emptiness and feel the holding and love. Feel the love of your ancestors around you. All the warmth that they are showering on you, for they have always loved you. Each and every cell of your body is receiving their love, their warmth. They're blessing you. And as they bless you, they ask you to make a choice, to choose what your soul needs at this moment in your life. Ask yourself, what is my choice of the emotion I want to feel now? What is the choice of thought, belief, affirmation I want to live by? What is that I'm transmitting into my future by transforming this, what I just released? Bring it into your clarity. Allow, as you know that the pattern stops with you, and you tell yourself, the pattern stops with me. I now choose a different way. I breathe in and embody the quality, the energy of love, freedom, trust, courage. Breathe in what you have brought in as your choice. And now as you breathe in, notice how it feels like in your physical body, in your life, and breathe out and transmit this new energy onwards, radiated outwards, all around and in the future. Visualize this purified energy, embrace it yourself and send it out to the future generations. As you release that block of emotion, that pain, you've released it, transformed it into love, into light of your choice. Feel your connection to your soul. Feel you're standing strong on earth. And receive your soul streaming down into your body from the top of the head to the tip of your toe, feeling the love and connection to your ancestors with a slight smile appearing on your face. Allow yourself this beautiful connection with those who lived before you and who created you. For one amongst them was you. For we all are our own ancestors. So as we embrace them, we embrace ourselves. As we connect with them, we correct ourselves. Feel the line of the grandfathers and grandmothers behind you, sustaining you, blessing you. Receive their love. Bring your palms together and put them on your heart chakra. Experience that energy. Keep your palms a little away from your heart chakra and allow the energy to breathe into you through the anahata. Radiate that love, that light, that blessing that is coming your way. Embrace it. Feel your ancestors' powers holding you as you walk the path of light in front of you, radiating this light to your future generations. From heart to heart, from love to love, from light to light and onwards. Feel the energy you've chosen and how it transforms and informs your future. Feel the path lighting up with your light and love, your new choice. And you too become that light. You are one with life. And as you say that, before you come back in your new energy space, with your renewed self, trust that we have elements of the mysteries of life, honoring those who came before and drawing on and connecting with our ancestors. As we heal our future. And affirm now, I am the power of my ancestors. I am guided by my ancestors. I give thanks to those who came before me.
Yeah.
I see you. I thank you. My life is mine to create. The healing I achieve, I send back to you. And I send it forward to those who are coming in the line of generations, to this bloodline that we all belong to. Drown yourself in love and light with this new energy that you have created. Stay with this energy for a while. Let it fill in your entire consciousness and love and light and blessings. And in your own time, in your own space, slowly coming back into your conscious awareness, rejuvenated, realigned, and energized, fully conscious, awaken to your new self. Thank you. Namaste. Take your time.
बाबा मैं चुके ने मंन जाओ ना मेरी गल मैं गिन के कड्डे सी एक नोट इत्थे रह गया सी वो मैं छुट गया